Moonlight pours through Blackwood Hall's tall windows. Crystal chandeliers shimmer over guests in gowns. A piano's last notes float, then stop. The pianist crumples to the stage. Silence. Glasses tremble and conversations die in seconds. Guest check-ins, seating charts, and catering logs whisper. Every record hides a quiet secret. Clues. We will uncover the truth together.
Hi, welcome to this crime case. Let's solve this mystery together step by step. We'll use real data to uncover the truth. Ready? Let's begin our investigation. First, we need to gather our evidence. We'll load 3 key datasets: guest check-in records, the seating chart, and the catering service logs. Each one could hold a clue about what happened that night. Let's get our data ready. First things first, let's bring in our main tool for the investigation. By typing import pandas as PD, we're grabbing the Python library that'll help us sift through all the evidence, just like a detective's magnifying glass. Now, let's pull up the guest underline check-in file. With guest underline check-in equals pd.read underline CSV, we're loading the full list of everyone who checked in that night. This is our starting point. Who was at the scene when the crime went down? Next, we'll open the seating underline chart. By reading in seating underline chart.csv, we can see exactly where each guest was sitting. Maybe someone had the perfect view or the perfect alibi. And finally, let's examine the catering underline log. This file tracks every food and drink order during the event. If anything suspicious was served, or if someone slipped away for a secret meeting, we'll spot it here. Now, let's dig deeper. We need to see what these datasets look like. By previewing the first few rows, we can spot any unusual details right away. This is our first look at the evidence. Let's start by announcing the guest check-in. This will show us exactly who walked through the door on the night of the crime. Now, I'm displaying the first few rows of the guest underline check-in data. Think of this as our initial list of suspects. Every name, every arrival time, right at our fingertips. Next up, I'm printing out the seating chart. This will help us map out where everyone was sitting. Maybe someone had the perfect vantage point for mischief. Here, I'm displaying the top of the seating underline chart. We're looking for any unusual pairings or empty seats that might give us a clue. Now, let's turn to the catering log. Food and drink can be a goldmine for evidence. Who ate what and when. Finally, I'm displaying the first few entries from the catering underline log. We'll keep an eye out for any odd orders or missing items that could point us toward our culprit. Look closely at these clues. The guest check-in file shows who arrived, when, and who checked them in. The seating chart tells us where each guest sat. The catering log reveals who served which drink, at what time, and at which table. Each detail could be important for our case. Now, let's check the arrival times. Did anyone arrive much earlier or later than the others? Sorting the arrival times might reveal who had extra time near the stage. First things first, I'm converting the arrival time for each guest into a proper date and time format. That way, we can line up everyone's entrance down to the minute and spot anyone who showed up at an odd hour. Now, let's sort our guest check-in records by arrival time. This will help us see the exact order people came in. Maybe someone slipped in just before the crime took place. Let's display the sorted guest list on screen. With everyone's arrival lined up, we might just catch a clue hiding in plain sight. Interesting. Elena arrived first, followed by Victor, Sophie, Harold, and Lila. Arriving early could mean more time to access the stage area. Let's keep this in mind as we move forward. Now, let's see who was seated near Elena. Proximity to her could mean opportunity. We'll check the seating chart for anyone sharing the stage table. Let's start by narrowing our focus. Here, I'm pulling out all the guests who were seated at the stage table. That's where the incident happened. We want to see exactly who was closest to the action. Now, let's display those names on a screen. With this, we can get a clear look at our prime witnesses, or maybe even our suspects. Here's a key clue. Sophie and Lila were seated with Elena on stage. They had the closest access to her drink. This could be very important. Now, let's analyze the catering log. Who served Elena? And what about the others at her table? The server's actions could be a turning point in our case. First things first, let's make sure our timeline is rock solid. Here I'm converting the time column in our catering underline log into a proper datetime format. That way, every minute counts, and we won't miss a single clue about when things happened. Now, let's zero in on the stage. I'm filtering the catering underline log to pull out every record where the table was set to stage. If anything suspicious happened near the spotlight, this is where we'll catch it. Let's lay out all the evidence from the stage right in front of us. By displaying stage underline serving, we can scan for odd patterns. Maybe a tray delivered at an unusual time or someone who shouldn't have been there. Keep your eyes peeled. All drinks at the stage table were served by D. Ruiz between 1930 and 1932. Elena and Lila got water, Sophie got wine. The timing is tight, just a couple of minutes apart. This detail could be crucial. Now let's visualize the timeline. Seeing arrivals and drink servings together might reveal overlaps or hidden opportunities for tampering. This is where things get interesting. First things first, let's bring in Matplotlib, our trusty toolkit for visualizing the evidence. We'll need it to spot any patterns in the timeline. Now, let's set the scene. We're about to plot the arrival times. This is where we might catch someone arriving earlier or later than they claimed. I'm setting up our canvas, making the figure nice and wide. That way, every guest's arrival stands out. No detail gets lost. Here's where it gets interesting. I'm plotting each guest's name against the exact minute they arrived. Blue dots mark every entrance. Maybe we'll spot someone sneaking in at an odd hour. Now let's shift focus. We're about to plot when drinks were served to the stage guests. Sometimes the timing of a drink can reveal more than the drink itself. I'm looping through each serving record. For every stage guest, I'll mark the moment their drink was handed over. A red X for each one. If the timing's off, it could be a clue. Let's label the y-axis so we know exactly how many minutes past midnight each event happened. Every minute counts in this investigation. I'm giving our chart a title, so anyone looking at it knows we're tracking arrivals and drink serving times for the stage guests. This is our timeline of the night's key moments. Adding a legend here so it's crystal clear which marks are arrivals and which are drink servings. We don't want to mix up our clues. And finally, let's reveal the chart. With one look, we'll see if anyone's timing stands out, and maybe, just maybe, spot the first crack in their alibi. Look at the timeline. There's a gap between when guests arrived and when drinks were served. Anyone at the stage table had access to Elena's drink before it was served. The server, D. Ruiz, also had direct access. Let's pull all our findings together. Here's our big reveal. The people closest to Elena were Sophie Chen and Lila Monroe. The server, D. Ruiz, also had access. All stage guests arrived before 1915, but drinks were served after 1930. That leaves a window for tampering. The data points to Sophie or Lila as having the best opportunity. The motive is still a mystery, but the opportunity is clear. Who do you suspect? The case continues.